Aloha everyone, it's Cindy from Stamped with Aloha, and today I'm working with Stampin' Up's shimmery detailed laser cut paper. As you can see here, it is very fragile but very beautiful paper that has a shimmery side and a white side. And today I'm going to show you how to create 2 quick cards using this beautiful paper. Okay, we're going to start with a piece of PETAL pink cardstock. Now this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm going to die cut an oval from the Stitch Shapes oval framelit dies into the front of this card. Now I've run it through the Big Shot, and after that's done it's going to look like this, and we're going to get right to work with our detailed frames. So this is one of the frames I cut out from the paper. It has a shiny side and a white side. So we're going to adhere this to the card using liquid glue. So we're going to flip the card over and adhere this to the white side, and we'll just carefully put the glue all the way around the outside of the frame and then flip it over, and then we'll just press this down on the front of the card so that it overlaps that open oval cut area. Okay, so now that's done. Let me lift this up so you can see it a little bit better. Isn't that pretty? So now we're going to add a little pop of color, and we're going to be using our Parisian Blossoms Designer Series paper. Now this is a specialty paper, so it has a little shine on one side and then a more matte look on the opposite side. So we want the shiny side to show, so I'm going to get my liquid glue and put some glue on the back. And this is a 3 by 4 piece of Designer Series paper, and we're going to press this right to the inside of the card, right in the center. And so now we have a really nice shimmery background to back those cutout flowers. The next step is to add some words. So I'm going to grab a scrap piece of very vanilla cardstock, and then I'm going to use the stamp set called Forever Blossoms, and I'll be using the stamp here that says Friend. So I'm going to take a soft suede ink pad, and then I'm going to ink up my stamp and stamp it on this scrap piece of paper. The next step is to take my classic label punch, and I'm going to put the paper in the punch, and I want to line the image, the friend, all the way to the far right side of that punch. Then I'm going to take some mini dimensionals and place them on the back. And then we'll go ahead and take off the backing, and we'll press this to the front of the card. And I want to make sure that that label overlaps the frame by just a tiny little bit. Now to complete this card, we just want to add a couple of embellishments. So I'm going to take a rhinestone jewel and I'm going to dot the I of the word friend, and then one of our frosted flowers, and just press that down, and that is all we need for the outside of the card. Isn't that nice? So now all we need to do to finish this card is add an inside sentiment plus a little area where people could sign their name or write a message. And so I'm going to stamp this on the inside, and this image says, "You mean so much to me." And then we're going to take this and put some liquid glue on the back, and then we'll press this on the inside of the card. So literally this card is like a 3-minute card. If you have all the pieces cut and ready to go, really the hardest part is adding that frame to the front, because it takes a little bit of patience to glue it on. So now we're going to make a second card using this PETAL pink oval scrap. We have a piece of PETAL pink cardstock that's been cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and I've cut it down to 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. Then I'm going to score this piece of paper at 4 1/4 inches right across here, like so. So when you fold it, you'll have a little extra space. Now the top here, we're going to add a layer that's 4 by 4, and this was embossed with the Parisian Flourish embossing folder. Then go ahead and add some liquid glue to the back, and we'll press on this very beautiful texture layer. Now we're going to grab our frame. This is our detailed laser cut paper. It has the shimmery side, it has the white side, but we want to use the white side for this card. So I'm going to use my liquid glue, and again just put a really thin layer of glue all around the outside edges, and then I might just dot it a couple times on the little images that are in the center of this cutout. So I'm going to press this 3 by 3 square of laser cut paper right in the middle, and now we have a really interesting lacy pattern over top of our detailed flourish. The next step will be to take that oval scrap, and we're going to add some dimensionals to the back, because this is what's going to be the focal point of the card. So I'm going to flip it over and add just 3 dimensionals, and I'm going to make sure I don't put any dimensionals on the bottom, because we want to only have the dimensionals on that folded embossed part of the card. So now let's add an inside layer to this card. So I have a piece of the Parisian Blossoms Designer Series paper. Again, this has this nice shiny side here, but we're going to use the more matte side here. So as much as it pains me, I'm going to add some liquid glue to this pretty shiny side of the paper. We're going to add this to the inside of the card, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Now we're going to add our focal point. I've die cut a cross using the Cross of Hope dies. And this is such a pretty detailed cross, don't you think? And it's subtle. It's going to be petal pink on petal pink. And so this is the kind of card you kind of have to see in person to really appreciate and see all the details. But you'll just add a little bit of liquid glue to the back of this beautiful cross. And then we're going to take it and carefully press it down right into the center of that oval shape. And so now we have another interesting texture with the cutout cross, the detailed paper, and the embossed background. So the next step is to take a 1/2 by 3" piece of very vanilla cardstock, and we're going to stamp an image from the Hold On to Hope stamp set, and this says Hold On to Hope. And then what I want to do is make a little banner. So I'm going to use my triple banner punch, and then I'll carefully place this little tiny strip of paper in the back of my punch just until I see the words, and then I'm going to slide it back and punch it out. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'll take the cardstock, slide it in until I see the words, and then slide it back a little bit and punch it out. And then that's how I'll line that up to make a cute little banner. So I'm going to take this and flip it over and grab some mini dimensionals. I'll add them to the back, and then I'll remove the backing, and I'm going to stick this right on the front of the card, right where that petal pink line is. And then the last thing we'll do is add a jewel rhinestone right to the O of the word hope to just add a little shimmer to the front of the card. This is the perfect time to send a card like this to encourage people to have hope, or also just to send a friendship card to let people know that they mean a lot to you. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these cards today. It was fun stamping with you. I hope you all have a happy and blessed day. Aloha!